Here we go, deer season 22, episode 20. Hopefully everyone caught 19 and all of the different installments prior to that. You can see all of the buildup and all of the hunts, and you can really see the season taking shape and start to see the development of the 13 phases that we talk about within 13. Here's another one from Greener Pastures, one of our favorite phases. It's that early part of the season when deer aren't moving very far between bed and food, and they really key in on green food sources. That's exactly the recipe we had, and we're going to break it down for you here in this episode. Here's the story of a giant mainframe 9-point from Iowa with lots of kickers, lots of trash, and lots of character.
This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Cold Steel. Anytime, anywhere.
We really rely on MRI, most recent information. We get all that through our Iconics cameras, and we do a lot of scouting ahead of time. So we've got a lot of cameras out there just shooting pictures that we check periodically throughout the season, but more often than not do a deep dive after the season, particularly on bucks that could become a target the following year. I run probably 200 cameras all total between Texas, Missouri, and Iowa. Some of those are cells, some of those are just standard cameras. And this was a buck that I had a lot of pictures of and really didn't target him too much last year, but I knew he was mature. I knew he was a 5.5-year-old buck. Then this summer, when we went out and we did our summer survey, we get pictures of this giant and we were like, oh my goodness, he has blown. Just a beautiful deer, 6.5 years old. And that's always a challenging age class because I call 6.5-year-olds the ghost. It's the ghost year for whitetails. I think that they move less when they're age 6.5 than any other age. They certainly move less during daylight hours than any other age. So we knew we would have to have a little bit of luck and a very rock solid plan in order to take this particular deer. We got several summer pictures of this guy, and then all of a sudden, just about the time he was going to shed his velvet, he vanished, MIA. We didn't see him, we didn't get any pictures, nothing. And that's not uncommon for whitetails. You never know exactly what they do, where their home range shifts to, but I know one thing, in and around velvet shed time is a different time for whitetails. They can often go off of your cameras for several days, sometimes weeks, and I still think they're pretty close, they're just not moving nearly as much. There's a period in the summer we love, late July through late August, to get the best summer pictures. The bucks are putting on pounds, they're trying to get the final antler development, getting as much nutrition into their body as possible, and they're moving a decent amount, and you get a lot of pictures of them. Then all of a sudden, velvet comes off, and my old buddy from out in Montana used to always say, when the velvet comes off, the brain cells develop. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. And for this buck, he went MIA, just gone from the camera. So it also makes you think at that time of the year, late August, has EHD hit? Have you lost him for some other reason? And it seems like every year the threat of EHD is more and more, and I know many people across the country can relate to that right now. There are a variety of outbreaks in different places. I don't think we're having a bad one here in Iowa, but I do think we are losing a few deer. So that thought was crossing my mind. So we continue to check cameras. We've got some cell cameras on this particular farm. It's an 80-acre parcel, and the thing I love about it most is this awesome, awesome bedroom, and we've got food tucked right next to it. He's not showing up. This year, because of the drought, we have a big green field there as opposed to beans. They didn't do very well. Deer pressure really kept them quite small, but he just wasn't showing. And on a hunch, I decided to go in and sit a blind kind of back a little bit with myself and Scott Heminger to see if we could see this deer. DeerCast is predicting great. It's one of the few greats we've had this year. We're running 3 crews tonight. Perry's going into our new plot down in the wetlands. Wade is with Matt, and Scott's coming with me. Hopefully one of us get to see a giant tonight, and who knows, maybe all of us will encounter mature bucks. It's the night of all nights. So many different things are lining up for this evening. That's nose jammer. And on a day like this where we're pushing the wind just a little bit, I'm gonna use it. I love ozone in the blind, and in certain situations, I like this stuff outside the blind and on my person to cover my track. And most importantly, it's how you use it as far as the results or returns you're gonna get on it. It's not a cover scent. This is actually used to block their ability to smell. So that's why they call it nose jammers. So the key to it is, don't use it sparingly. Like if I'm putting a scent out or a scent line, I'm gonna probably be sparing with it. However, if I'm trying to know block their olfactory, block their nose, I'm gonna use a bunch of it on the outside of the blind and any place that I'm trying to use it. I especially have good luck in Texas, and I especially have good luck up here in Iowa and Missouri with it. Nose jammer.
This is like the first time in. I bought this farm in 2007, and it's really not been that different down here until this year. The drought smoked us on our beans, deer pressure smoked us on our beans. The farm north didn't get planted to a food source, therefore all the pressure was here. The beans stayed that tall, and I finally made a decision in early September to drill the entire farm and make the whole thing green. Typically we have our green attracted down there for bow hunting. Well, and everything else is crops. It grows good corn, it grows good beans. This year, the whole farm's green. I wanted to make sure we had a food source that made this place palatable the entire fall. So the reason I'm excited, I get to relearn the patterns, because I guarantee you it changed things. So we're part hunting, part scouting. But tonight's sit might pay off before the season's over with. Never be afraid to just watch. I know that deer very, very well, and yet tonight's the first time I've ever seen him. Like, I've had lots of trail camera pictures of him over the last 3 years, lots, but I've never laid eyes on the deer. This is the first time. He's an absolute giant. He's on this farm a lot, and it takes weather like tonight, this great prediction from DeerCast, to get him up on his feet and moving during daylight. Pretty cool to lay eyes on a giant like that the first time. Easily a 170, 180 class deer. Giant.
Our hunt had started out amazing. Here's this giant right in front of us. My mind drifts off to Perry, who's taking the first hunt within the new plot that we did down in that wetlands area. We showcased this plot in episode 3, so early on in the season this year. I can't wait to see whether all of our architecture comes into play. We have a pinch point, we have a water hole, we have a giant food plot, cover all around it. Hopefully Perry is in for a good night.
Well, it is right at the 5 o'clock mark. We got 5 deer on the field, 5 does. The wind is howling pretty good, which I like the sustained wind speed going into the evening. So hopefully the movement continues, and actually we got a 6 doe coming on the field. So hopefully the good movement continues, and there's 2 big mature deer in this neighborhood that I know. One being a Big 10 weight I encountered on a farm just west of here. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Might end up coming to the green. Back to the green field. He came in at 43 yards. Just a little farther than I'd like. Super calm out tonight. I don't want him to duck the arrow or anything, but he fed away. He's probably 47, 48 right now, but beautiful deer, beautiful encounter. And then a big 8 that's been in here all summer. We know him from years past, so hopefully we see one of them tonight and put that Matthews to work. So see what happens. Might be the 10 that I was talking about. I think it is. Well, that's one of the deer we're here after. We always hope he comes to the scrape trees. Well, he worked the plot and followed a little buck and some does and came to the water hole. So I let him get his head in the water. I was full draw ready to go, and I don't know what else I could have done. I mean, what a deer, what a hunt. Tough break there on a beautiful, mature Iowa deer.
Man, close call for Perry down there. I mean, that's as close as it gets. And it was just exciting to see pretty much a 2-year project with the water hole, the new plot, the blind positioning, everything came together. But that's hunting. Unfortunately, a doe or two got their wind and got out of there, and that buck didn't know what happened. But it worked to perfection in terms of the food plot architecture. What a great encounter. Beautiful deer, too. I was hoping Perry would make it happen on that big deer. For the last 3 seasons, you've heard us talk a great deal about DeerCast Track and DeerCast, our predictive algorithm as it pertains to deer movement. Well, we've taken DeerCast up a few notches this year with a new offering. We've added maps, but most importantly, we've made them inclusive. It's more about your environment and how the weather affects you. Now you can look at how much rain you're about to get with our radar. You can look at how much rain you got with our rain station. You can make decisions based on access, or perhaps look at it as it pertains to herd health. We've also got an incredible wind checker within. You can look at it in the now, or you can study it over the next 24 hours, or even out to 5 days. Look at where the wind is going, what the set stream's doing, information along the way to help you understand what wind means to you and the animal. So it's a map, yes, but it's more about your environment and how weather affects you and the animal within that environment. We've worked the last 2 years to perfect it, and we're really proud of this offering. Man, that was so close for Perry. Unfortunate, but that's hunting. Now Scott and I are having the evening of all evenings, and then we look off to our southeast, and we could not believe our eyes. Out steps this buck that we went in there on a whim, and here he is walking into the plot.
I stated them in the truck. One of the reasons I did not set that blind is because we were pushing the wind. We had a west-southwest wind, and guess what? My number one target came out east-northeast of it, exactly why I didn't go there. I haven't had a picture of him since he was in velvet, so that was probably early September, maybe like the 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there, last picture. And he shows up tonight. I didn't sit there because I was afraid of that bedroom. And then, what do you know? He goes and works the scrape tree, works that scrape. Now that he's back, if I can get the right wind to hunt that blind, I'll have a greater confidence of going in. I'm pretty jacked right now because that's the buck I wanted to see tonight, and there he is.
This 80 acres has been very productive for us through the years, and we've killed a multitude of big deer. I mentioned several in my pre-hunt that afternoon, and I think the reason that it's so good is the bedroom and the thick, nasty cover along this creek bottom. It's a big south-facing hill that leads down into this bottom, and it borders this creek. And rather than put food all over this parcel, I went in and instead enhanced the bedding with warm season grasses. There's probably 40 or 50 acres of warm season grass, and I've got another 20 to 25 acres of just hardwoods and thick bottom cover. We've done some TSI off to the west, and right there where the food plot is, there's really good bottom soil. So it kind of sets up as a perfect farm, but we took it from a fairly open farm and turned it into thick, intensive cover. And you take that rich bottom soil here in Iowa, we had decent rains in April and May and early June, and that thick cover just blew out of the ground. It's as tall down there as I've seen it in a long time. Even with the drought, those early spring rains got in that bottom soil and produced some intense cover. And that's why I think this particular farm produces year in and year out, because the bedroom is right next to the food. And I think as you go forward and create more food plots and look for strategies when it comes to whitetails, particularly for afternoon hunting, you've got to be as close to the bedroom as you dare get without going into it too far to where you bump deer out. Particularly this phase, this time of the year. October's so easy to get too close, bump a deer out, and they don't even let you know that you bumped them out. So we're right up against it, and we've got a beautiful green plot this year. And hopefully now that we've seen him, we get the wind we need to hunt that particular blind that he walked right in front of. All right, I'm looking at DeerCast, and it says poor this particular day, October the 11th. And then about 6 or 7 p.m. it turns to okay. And I thought to myself, man, south-southwest wind, it kind of pushes it, but we've got wind speed that sustains till dark. Perry and I talked about it. We're going in after that main target. Hopefully he shows up. Okay, we are back to the scene of one of the most incredible nights I've ever sat in a blind. Myself and Scott sat in this bottom in the, what we call the gun position, the north end of the bottom over on the towards the west arm. Tonight, we've got the wind and the speed to get into that bow blind that both of those giants walked by. The other night, we had a great. Pressure was 30.4, first south wind, moon was rising at the right time, a lot of things lined up. The first buck come out at 5, the second one came out at 6. Tonight we've got a poor. So the difference between the two is really hopefully going to be about timing. That's why we're going in here, because we've got the wind speed, the wind direction we need, and we're not going to have it again, so we're taking a chance. We're going in, we're hoping they still come out, could be late, but we still feel like they might come out because we are parked right next to their bedroom. That's the magic of where this plot's at. So hopefully one of them shows. Perry's got his bow, I've got mine. We're gonna go down here and have a memorable night in Russell Bottom. Pretty excited about it, to be honest.
I haven't been this excited when we were at 80 or above in a long time. Usually this early season, you get to that threshold, you start seeing temperatures in the 80s, it really slows movement down. It's why DeerCast says poor today. First poor we've had in a while. However, this spot in particular is really early movement on great days. And even on poor days, you still get daylight. We have other spots I would not have considered tonight because I'm not close enough to the bed. The deer got to travel a long way to get to them. This is not one of them. That buck, if we kill him, I would bet money right now. He's bet it within 100 to 150 yards of us. So we'll see what happens. Perry's got a shooter, the Fork G1, if he comes out. Perry's up to bat. If that big 9-point comes out, I'm up to bat. I personally think Perry's shooting a deer tonight. We'll find out. I'm excited though. It's hot, but we're ready. It's freaking early. We'll test the wind with him, shall we? Yeah. Let me know if he goes behind the boat. He's coming right down the pipe. He is. 38 right there. Yeah, I got him. Through here. Yep. I got him. Spike. Yep. I wonder if he's gonna have any buddies. Good stuff. That's a good start. They're eating hard. I've noticed that in the past, how comfortable deer are, especially with heavy wind speed. It almost like motivates them to eat faster. 16 to 20, we like it. They're not gonna eat acorns. Yeah, it's your deer. It is your deer, Mark. Okay. I'm ready. Should I up the front? Probably should. Where's the other buck? He's right here. We just did it. That was intense. The other night, Scott and I sat the back blind because our wind wasn't perfect. Tonight, we had the wind. Perry and I said we looked at DeerCast for the next 10 days. We did not have this wind again, and we were like, we gotta go for it. It said pour, and he came out much later than he did, and he's eating like crazy because there's a front coming. But it worked, and I just put an arrow through him, and we're gonna get him, buddy. We got him. Historically, we were sitting here talking about it. Gary LeBox killed a deer here. Stephen Parker killed a deer here. I killed a deer called the One here. Perry killed Mr. Rogers here. Wade killed here last year. So this farm's got a history, and we just added to it a little bit. Another page for the books, buddy. Thank you, Perry.
Yes, sir. Big congratulations.
Wow. Yes. Love this stuff, buddy.
What's happening?
You got it?
Well, I mean, I shot him. We're going to go review the hit and just play it with caution. We got out of there clean, which was great. So, I mean, he's a dead deer. It's a matter of exactly when.
Yep. She said low, long leverage. You hit him like right behind shoulder by the heart or the back.
I could send you a couple pictures. I think we're in pretty good shape.
Sweet. Well, yeah, send me, just keep me posted. Send me the pics or hit or whatever. About to leave for dinner to go tell Rihanna.
Oh, yay. She's going to be so excited for you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, but I'll have my phone, so just keep me posted.
So what are you going to tell Rihanna?
I'm ordering a margarita and I'm bringing a pregnancy test to hand her.
Oh, how awesome. So
Yeah, I'll be filming it because I know she'll scream.
we never really addressed it on film, but we are right now. You're kind of telling our audience via a phone call.
We can officially tell people. Yeah, I mean the world will know within a week, so we're finally not living in a secret.
Yes, her and Austin are expecting, and we're very excited. We'll have to share some videos of when you shared the news with us and Tom and Cindy, and I just think it's so magical when you shared the news with Austin. I just thought it was awesome. So.
Oh yeah.
Hold them, put them closer together. Ready? Oh.
That's scary. Oh, hello.
Who are you talking to?
I'm so happy. I'm
Did you
so
think
excited.
that's what it was gonna
I had
be?
no clue what it was gonna be.
Oh, they are. That's what she guessed.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
No, this is a prank, Tracy.
Guessed it.
I even said, I'm like, what? It would be fun.
Oh, look.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Woo! So when would you be due?
Oh my gosh, I knew I would cry.
April 20th.
What?
April 20th.
No, last week of April.
Little turkey baby.
Little gobbler.
What? What? Are you freaking kidding me?
No.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, are you? Did you know?
No.
Oh my gosh!
So the other day I was like, hey Dad, I gotta get my license plates done. It was her first ultrasound.
What the heck?
Yeah, so
Are you
that's
kidding? No!
Yeah, nobody
No!
did. I didn't tell
Did you
you.
tell that we're like so nervous out here?
But we had a little surprise that we wanted to show you.
Oh. Oh my God, don't kill me.
We're having a baby!
We got another little.
Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm sick and crying. I'm surprised you're dead, or you didn't know it.
Oh, he knows, and I said, you cannot tell our secret.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so happy.
There's a different cow, ain't it?
Yep.
I did not recognize that leg back.
Smoking midnight. Yep.
We just got back to the house. Josh and Carson are here. Wade's here. We're reviewing the hit. We're trying to figure out whether it's lungs, liver, or just liver. And we feel like would have got low lobe of lung. I looked at the DeerCast track, and I feel like That arrow is right there, in my opinion, right in that range right there. But you're on the edge there, so I feel like I caught low lung liver is what I feel like I caught. So we'll give him a little time and then do the check for him.
There's quite a bit of blood. It's like spray. It's got some pressure.
We knew we were on him. I mean, he died in the thicket, boys.
Yeah.
Right here together.
Oh, that was good. He is in a nasty hole. Unbelievable. That's beautiful. Thank you. He's a lot bigger than what we thought.
Yeah.
Wow. What a cow head.
Holy bucket.
That dude's a tanker.
Oh yeah, he was dead right away.
Yeah.
Awesome. Look at that. Woo, that's a freaking dandy.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you.
That turned out like crap.
Wow. October 11th. First things first. Oh, wow. Man, what a deer.
Stay tuned, Mark.
Fun stuff right here. Bam. I think that's about as close as I've ever been to one when we recovered it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's so thick in here, and it's exactly what we talked about, why they were going to daylight there tonight, because the bed is so close, and he's back to bed permanently. So. All right, a terrific evening this evening. Ended with a tremendous blood trail with 4 incredible bloodhounds and myself. We were out here on a blood trail that was just perfect. It was made by Rage, and we were lucky enough to follow it, and it led us to this guy back in here in his bedroom, basically. It's exactly what we talked about. That particular stand borders the thickest, nastiest stuff, and rather than going in it, which would be tempting with all the sign, we stay on the fringe of it. And I said tonight when we got in the blind, I said, I'll bet you he's bedded within 100 to 200 yards. And sure enough, he came out with enough daylight, and we were able to take a shot. Perry did a great job on the footage. He was out there just munching, eating as fast as he could. We had that strong south-southwest wind. Just a beautiful, beautiful white-tailed deer. A deer that we have some pictures of last year. We felt like he was a 5-year-old last year, and I'm fairly certain he's 6 this year. If you look at the size of that head and this Iowa body, you just can't find deer like this anywhere in the world. It's why we love being here. It's why we love living in Iowa. And you know, when you have passion like all of us here do tonight, it's the best state in the union as far as I'm concerned. Just a beautiful deer. He's a mainframe 9-point with a bunch of different kickers and stickers. He may be 16, 17 total different points, but just an incredible, incredible deer. Just awesome. Deer season 22 is rolling on. So there you have it. Up next to the bedroom, buck comes out, and it just shows you, I mean, he was on that field probably 15 minutes between 50 yards and 25 yards. It shows you how little they're moving this time of the year, especially on a night where the predictive model is saying poor to okay as opposed to good or great. It changes their demeanor. They don't move as far, they don't move as fast, but luckily we were able to get it done because we had the blind in the exact right position. History told us this is the place to be, and it ended up giving me a shot at 25 yards. And then the pack of coyotes went in there and tracked that deer. It was just awesome enjoying all that moment with all the guys. I mean, we have fun times, whether we're hunting or in camp or whatever it is, and we really enjoy those track jobs when we're all together. It's a family affair for us, and it was a night that we'll never forget. A lot of fun.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by MOTV. For full episodes of 13 and all of our Outdoor Channel content, head over to the MOTV app and view it today.